Hello again, this is your hostess MissRBGenius, and in this guide we will be covering the basic strategy for Warsong Gulch in a rated battleground setting. Warsong Gulch is a capture the flag map. The objective is to capture your enemy's flag more times than they are able to capture yours. To capture the enemy's flag, you must bring it to your flag's spawn point while the enemy team does not have possession of your flag. You have 25 minutes to accomplish up to 3 flag captures, and in the event of a tie, the team to make the most recent capture will be the winner. The differences that you will notice when engaging in an RBG version of Warsong Gulch are as follows. As in other battlegrounds, your res timer is still 45 seconds in an RBG Warsong. At a full res timer, it is sometimes still viable to manually res yourself. Use good judgment here and refer to our introduction video for further information. It is also possible to face your own faction, meaning that sometimes you will start in the Horde base. Strategy does not change, you are simply flipped onto the other side of the map and should adjust accordingly. You will also notice 3 new debuffs. The first debuff is not seen, but does exist. As soon as a flag carrier picks up the flag, that player is taking 25% additional damage. This is a change that was implemented on March 1st, 2011, and has not been removed as of Season 10. The second debuff is shown on your flag carrier and is called Focused Assault. After 3 minutes of both teams having the flag carriers will get Focused Assault, which increases damage taken by 10%. Every minute afterward, an additional stack will be applied to increase damage taken by an additional 10%. It can stack up to 10 times, making the full debuff a 100% damage taken increase. After 7 minutes, a debuff called Brutal Assault will be applied in place of Focused Assault. In addition to the damage debuff, this debuff also caps the player's movement speed at 100%. A typical setup for Warsong Gulch is 3 healers, 6 DPS, and 1 flag carrier. Any tanking class is capable of being a flag carrier, with Prot Paladins being the debatably weakest carriers at the moment. Druids have great kiting abilities, making them harder to catch and therefore kill, but this can be risky if your FC's healers get peeled off of him. Warriors and DKs seem to be the favored choice in most groups, and when they maximize the usage of their cooldowns can be very difficult to take down. Before queuing for your rated battleground, mark your healers and flag carrier, as well as placing a skull on your offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator will be responsible for calling targets, and makes him easier to identify by the other members of the offense. Marking your healers and flag carrier serves 2 purposes. It gives the healers an easy visual on where the flag carrier is, and helps your offense keep track of your defense in case support is needed to get the flag carrier across the field. These marks should be made outside of the battleground, and they will translate throughout the games as you enter and exit the queues. Upon entering the battleground, split your team up into 2 groups. Defense should be in one group, and offense in another. This is only for the purpose of battle standards. The battle standards only buff members of your party, so in order to get maximum usage out of them, it is best to have people in your party that you are in the vicinity of the most, hence offense and defense. Identify the enemy flag carrier before the game starts by clicking the PvP icon on your minimap, selecting the Horde tab, if you are not in a same faction battle, and mousing over the class icons of each person. You are looking for a Prot Paladin, Prot Warrior, or Blood DK. If none of those are available, look for a Feral Druid. In some cases, the players may be switching specs, so if an EFC cannot be identified, simply wait until the gates open and your leader will identify it for you. This is also a good time to identify healers. Offense will meet at the Alliance Berserker Hut, and defense will head out graveyard side towards the enemy's base to pick up the flag. Send 1 healer with the offense, and have them meet back up with the defense team as they cross the field. This is where the situation can go one of many ways. If the enemy team reroutes to intercept your flag carrier, leave 2 DPS at the Berserker Hut and send the rest of your offense to clean up the enemy's resistance and get your carrier across the field. The players left at your Berserker Hut are to accomplish one of many things. Slow the EFC from entering your base, kill a healer to separate the EFC from his support, and kill the EFC. You can do one or all of these things, but make that decision based on what you can accomplish successfully. Getting yourselves killed by their EFC and his support is not a success. In the event that the EFC makes it into your base, have offense gather midfield and try to separate him from his support once he exits. Killing and or CCing healers and then burning the EFC down is often the best route to take here. Should the enemy team group up to support, simply back off and support your own carrier across. You are now in a full setup for Warsong Gulch. Now your team will split into offense and defense fully. Should you have 4 healers in your group, send one with your offense. If you only have 3 healers, make good judgment calls and make use of defensive cooldowns and survivability on offense. Off heals are invaluable and should be used at your discretion. The flag carriers will appear on your map shortly after the flags are picked up as little flag icons representing the flag which the carrier is holding. Blue for Alliance and red for Horde. Offense is able to easily recognize the location of the EFC, or enemy flag carrier, by looking at the location of this icon on their map. If the icon is located here, then the flag carrier will be standing on the flag cap. This makes the EFC vulnerable to a smoke bomb and melee assault, allowing any ranged classes to simply keep the EFC's support crowd controlled by use of CC or by killing them. Make sure you are focusing your targets and not spreading your DPS. And remember, an healer is more useless than a dead one, as they must leave combat to regenerate in most cases. If the icon is located here, then it is safe to assume that the EFC is located on the roof. Beware of any knockback classes, such as Elemental Shaman and Boomkin Druids. Make good use of your crowd control and try to burn down at least one healer without cooldowns before focusing on the EFC. If the EFC has a priest, make sure that the priest follows him down from the roof, otherwise the EFC will simply be life gripped up and you will be back to square one. EFCs will sometimes choose more unorthodox locations to hold the flag, and in these cases where it is not easily identifiable, simply send a stealth class in to pinpoint their exact positioning. If no stealth is available, the sacrificial lamb is in order. Send one player in, and then meet back up at the Horde Berserker Hut to make your assaults on the EFC. Defense has many options for setting up to defend, and any option should leave your flag carrier within easy reach of the flag spawn for a cap, if offense calls that the EFC is going down. You can set up on the roof, but again beware of any Boomkin Druids or Elemental Shaman. There is also the second floor balcony, and the flag room itself. The flag room is both the easiest and the hardest to defend. Line of sight on the spawn itself can reduce range damage taken from above, but it can also cause issues with your healers. If the enemy team is heavy on AoE fears, it is usually the best place to set up, as there is room to spread out and avoid AoE crowd control. In the event that you are kiting, I suggest starting with the roof and using line of sight to avoid damage for as long as possible, while not losing sight of your support and heals. From the roof we will go to the flag room, out towards the graveyard, and up to the second floor. If further kiting is necessary, I suggest heading back down the tunnel and up towards the roof to start again. Always be aware of the enemy, and don't let them get in front of you when kiting. Communicate and coordinate to avoid this. When setting up on the roof, make sure that your flag carrier is far to the back, and that you never allow your back to face a ledge if the enemy has sent a Boomkin Druid or Elemental Shaman on their offense. Also beware of priests casting mind control and tossing your teammates off the ledge into the flag room. Again, communicate and coordinate as necessary. The goal is to keep the flag carrier alive and ready to cap while your offense team takes down the EFC and returns your flag to base. In the event that you find yourself in a position to turtle up on defense, you must use extreme caution. 7 minutes or less is a good guideline to use when making the decision to turtle. Have any member of your team pick up the flag and group up with them. Keep any enemy players peeled off of your carrier by utilizing CC or simply killing them with focus fire. Once you reach your base, hand off the flag to your dedicated flag carrier if necessary, and set your turtle up to look like this. The goal is to keep the enemy players from reaching your flag carrier while running out the clock for the remainder of the game. As with any battleground, the game can change in a moment, and it is important to keep the lines of communication open. Call out your CCs and make use of every tool your class has to improve your odds of winning. I hope that this guide will prove useful to you, and as always, feedback is welcome at the email address provided.